stand at the end of days. The first sign shall appear in the heavens. Justice shall fall upon the world of men. The armies of light and shadow will clash across the fields of eternity. Are you all right, my girl?
It was nothing, Uncle. Just a bad dream. We should be getting you home.
But there's still work to be done. If these translations are correct, the powers of hell could already be on the move. The world must be told of the coming darkness. You do believe me, don't you, Leah? It has begun.
Leave it, Uncle! It's not important!
At 12, I swore the oath, leaving home and family. At 16, I saw my master die. I took up her shield and her name, and on that day, I became a Crusader. Armored by faith, driven by duty, bound to kill the enemies of Zakarum. Sworn to live as a Crusader and to die as one. Now, corruption returns to the hearts of men. I see it in the eyes of the mad, hear it in the howling of the damned. A falling star in the west leads me to the town of New Tristram. The crusade calls me, and so I go. The fallen star is close, but there is death here too. Greetings. I am a Crusader of the Zakarum faith, and I saw a star falling on this town.
It fell on the old cathedral. There was only one survivor, Leah. You should speak with her.
Captain Rumford, more dead are coming.
We can't open the gates until we drive them back.
They keep coming!
I've never seen anyone fight like that before. Guards, open the gates! You'll find Leah at the Slaughtered Calf Inn.
Burn those corpses before they rise again.
Sakarum has fallen to disgrace. What faith can save us now? It is the end of the world. Can't you see that?
Death may be upon us all soon, but I shall do what I can to ease your pain.
I promised Marco I'd protect him, and now he's dead.
Nothing ever seems to change in New Tristram, does it?
What do you mean?
There's always some threat of the risen dead or foul evil descending on the town, isn't there?
Don't you dare lift a finger to help our mayor fix his wagon. My brother died defending this town, while that bloated coward tried to run away.
Please, move your cart.
How dare you speak to me like that? I am the mayor of this town.
Lord Mayor, please move your cart.
Are you mad? This town is doomed. Anyone with a grain of sense should be trying to get out. Will you help me or not?
Fleeing will not save your life, and certainly not your town.
For many years, villagers were too afraid to settle near the ruins of the cursed town Tristram. But as time went by, adventurers arrived to loot the old cathedral, and their business was profitable enough that New Tristram sprang up to accommodate them. Fewer travelers visit now, though, and the town is mostly populated by craftsmen and farmers.
Are you Leah? They tell me you survived the falling star.
I did, but it blasted my uncle Deckard Cain into the depths of the old cathedral. I tried to search for him, but the dead were already rising. I came back here to rally the militia, but...
Watch out! The wounded are turning!
This is killing business.
The dead will overwhelm us all, unless something is done.
Something like putting them back to sleep? I can do that.
Thank you. You should speak with Captain Rumford at the gate. He can tell you what to do.
Welcome to the slaughtered Cain. Bring me whatever treasures you have no use for. I'll give you a bit of coin to save up for your casket.
We've been under siege for 6 days now. Uncle Deckard is still missing. Captain Rumford and the others are losing hope. I tell them not to lose faith, but if help doesn't arrive soon...
Militiamen went out, only Rumford came back. How could that help us?
We never should have been.
We have come at last to Tristram's old cathedral. This is where Diablo, Lord of Terror, first corrupted mankind. This is where I may finally find the answers I seek. Leah worries after my safety, but I believe information vital to defeating the last lords of the burning hells can be found here.
I've come to help. How do we stop these risen dead?
I admire your courage, but Captain Dalton and the militia were slaughtered by those things. Only I survived.
Have faith, Captain. Have faith.
Well, I have seen you fight. Strike at the wretched mothers and their queen. They're the ones vomiting out these horrors.
They're attacking the barricades!
That's one of the wretched mothers. There are more of them in the ruins down the road. When Leah told us the dead were pouring out of the cathedral, we quickly went to put an end to it. At first, it seemed we were succeeding, but they just kept coming. We were overcome. Captain Dalton and the men fought valiantly. They protected me. I am no soldier. I was a farmer. I should not have been out there with them. I do not know how I made it back here. None of the others did. And now, somehow, I'm supposed to lead the militia.
The attacks. Old Tristram. Diablo himself was here.
Blessings of the light. For a long time, Uncle Deckard avoided coming back to this place. There were a lot of ghosts here for him. This is where Diablo drove old King Leoric mad and terrorized the people. I don't know what really happened here, but whatever it was horrible. Nearly everyone who survived went mad. I've never heard of the Crusaders.
We're from the East and only recently came to these lands. Some of us did, at least. We serve the Zakarum faith.
Well, I hope you're not planning to convert these people by the sword.
I'm not here to convert anyone. My crusade is to cleanse the corruption that infests my faith. When that evil is destroyed, the Zakarum will be restored, and people can choose to believe in it or not as they please.
Thank you for your help, but could you talk some sense into Leah? She won't give up on the idea of rescuing her uncle.
She's brave. With help, she may yet save Cain.
I volunteered to help because it seemed the right thing to do, but I'm no leader of men.
You were called, and you answered.
That's a simple thing for you to say. You were born to fight monsters like the risen dead. Me? I'm just a farmer.
Leah, let us find your uncle.
We'll need to open the cathedral first. The guards locked it up before they were ambushed. Rumford told me they fought their way back to Adria's hut. The key must still be there.
It doesn't seem likely that Deckard Cain could have survived down in the cathedral this long, does it?
Cain is alive. I will rescue him.
You seem quite sure of yourself. Do you know something I don't?
It's a shame that bard got himself eaten.
This is my room. Do you like it? A miracle has happened. A hero, like one out of Uncle Deckard's tales, appeared and saved us. I know in my heart that my uncle still lives, and I pray that the hero will bring him home safely. You know it's not polite to go through other people's things, don't you?
I've dug up some new things for you to take a look at. Found some interesting things on my latest dig. You should take a look.
And it is written, a fire will carve a furrow in the sky.
Here, let me open the gate. Adria was my mother, but I don't know much about her. She died when I was very young. I was raised by Uncle Deckard. And your father? I'm told he was a great warrior who was lost when Tristram fell to the demons. Hidden cellar. Follow me.
There are dark secrets here.
People said she was a witch, but I never believed it. Captain Dalton! Here's the key, and my mother's journal. What I've seen of it is disturbing. I want to know more about her, but that can wait. We need to save Uncle Deckard first.
I will go. Stay here and learn what you can.
Thank you.
Aiden came to me last night. I suspected what was lurking within his troubled heart. I consoled him as best I could. Regardless, wherever he's headed, hell will surely follow in his wake. The shadows close in on Tristram once again, but like Aiden, I'll be gone before they fall.
Leah, tell me about your mother.
Well, details are hazy, but I know that Adria was obsessed with chasing the arcane. She knew she could never raise a child. Uncle Deckard believes that the madness and horror of her life finally caught up with her.
The fight is over for this one. Tristram Cathedral. Fallen star lies within. The star is close.
It's inside me! Inside! Ah! Ah!
This will be a good battle.
And I'm cursed. Once the captain of King Leoric's army, I lived only to honor my land and my king. No man has a greater love for his king than I had for mine, even as I drove my blade through his dark and corrupted heart.
health is low. That feels better.
Foul minions! Stay back! Back! May this wedge hold. The Skeleton King?
The power of the fallen star awakened me, and soon all will suffer as I have suffered. Gods, bring me his bones!
To your grave!
I require more wrath.
Thank you, but why did you risk yourself for me?
Your niece asked me to find you, and I agreed.
Oh, it is wonderful to hear that Leah is well. I feared the worst. I learned of this secret passage through old maps I found. We must discuss the fallen star. Follow me to Tristram.
I rescued the old scholar, and learned from him that a creature called the Skeleton King stands between me and the star, but not for long.
Leah told me of your crusade to find the source of corruption in the Zakarum faith. I may have information that will help you. Mephisto, Lord of Hatred, spent many years trapped under Travancore and slowly tainted the Zakarum in a bid for freedom.
I have heard this, but knowing how it happened is not enough. I must find the source of the corruption to cleanse it.
I fear that Mephisto is no more. His soul was destroyed on the Hellforge. I am sorry, Crusader.
I've dedicated my life to this crusade, and your news does not change my oath. If I search my entire life and find nothing, it will still have been worth the journey.
Uncle, you're alive!
Thanks to you and your friend here.
It was my duty to help. Now, I would know of the falling star.
The prophecy of the end days surely points to it as a sign that the end has begun.
Please, Uncle, not more of your stories. All that matters now is that you're back.
Nothing stops the crusade!
I've spent most of my life traveling from place to place with Uncle Deckard, while he did his crazy research.
It can be a lonely life. What drives him?
He's convinced that the forces of hell will invade our world and bring about the end times. All these years, he's still searching for a way to stop this apocalypse.
Did you learn anything about your mother?
She wasn't from Tristram originally. She came here during the Troubles. She was in search of something, but I'm not sure what. She reminds me of Uncle Deckard, obsessed with the war between angels and demons.
The Skeleton King was once our beloved lord, Leoric. He was driven mad by Diablo's evil. He lost both of his sons and his very soul before he was finally defeated. Now it seems he's risen to plague this land once again.
Then I will be the cure.
The key to defeating him lies in his old crown. Seek out our blacksmith, Hadrig. He knows of its whereabouts. Leah, you should not dismiss the signs so lightly. Do you not believe the evidence of your own eyes?
Horrors have visited Tristram before, and it endured.
But what of the texts? The Zakarum tomes warn of a falling star. The Herodric scroll spoke of the dead rising, and the Lord of Lies. The prophecy of the end days says that at the end of all things, the first sign shall appear in the heavens.
Yes, you've been telling me about the texts since I was 8 years old, Uncle. I just don't think we should read too much into them.
I am the last of the Herodrim. I couldn't always claim this. In fact, if I had turned to the Herodric teachings sooner, Diablo could have been stopped before his reign of terror began.
You were called and did not answer?
When the first signs appeared, I did nothing. I had shrugged the old tales off like they were so much fantasy, and Tristram, no, the world, has paid dearly for my arrogance. I have tried to make up for my failings. Leah and I have spent her lifetime scouring the world, collecting pieces of the prophecy of the end days. If I can decipher it, we will have the key to defeating the Lords of Hell.
I can see that Leah is important to you.
I do not know what my life would have been like had I not raised her. Oh, it must have been difficult for Leah, following an old man on a mad search for the secrets to defeating the Lords of the burning hells. But though she has seen her share of mysterious things, she is still unsure of my quest. I can understand. She has never seen anything like Diablo and his brothers. The prophecy of the end days is contained within the Herodric tomes I inherited from my ancestor, Jared Cain. It is a warning to those who could interpret it regarding Hell's ultimate invasion of our world, written by many different people throughout history, in many different lands. All known versions of the prophecy are incomplete. I have spent a good part of the past 20 years trying to complete it. I am certain it holds the answers to defeating the Lords of Hell.
The story of Mad King Leoric hangs heavy over this town.
Leoric resisted Diablo's attempts to possess him, but the effort left him weak and confused. When his son Albrecht was kidnapped to be a vessel for Diablo, it destroyed any sanity Leoric had left.
And so he became the Skeleton King?
He commanded an army of the dead deep within the cathedral, finally serving the Lord of Terror he had resisted while alive. Many adventurers tried and failed to slay the Skeleton King. It was left to Leoric's eldest son, Aiden, to finally kill the monster his father had become.
Deckard is home, rescued from the clutches of the Skeleton King. I'm so glad. But the Skeleton King, I thought he was a folktale. The idea of Mad King Leoric returning to torture this place. Hasn't Tristram suffered enough?
You know what would take everyone's mind off their troubles? One of Theodos's great comedies. I have some new items that I'm certain you'll love.
Chelsea, how sweet of you to ask. My people, the Vetchin, are nomads, always traveling, looking for the land we might settle. All of us have the sight, but few have it as strong as myself. You know, men have always pursued me for my visions. Well, for things other than my visions. But everyone wants to know what the future holds.
My future is known. Travel the world, redeem the Zakarum faith, live as a Crusader, and die as one.
That's not a future. It's a punishment. You should stop to enjoy the wine. Find a good man, perhaps. The world is constantly renewing itself, eternally playing out the same events over and over again. We can merely play our parts.
The more you speak, the less you say.
I speak clearly. Do not blame me for the state of your mind.
Very interesting topic. I sell jewels.
And what is interesting about that?
Huh. Well, everybody's interested in jewels. People love them.
They are useful, but I don't love them.
I meant to say cultured people love them. You are very brave to venture outside the town gates. I hear there are all sorts of dangerous things crawling around out there.
I am one of them.
I was talking about rats and snakes. You're neither of those, I hope. I do like this Deckard Cain fellow. It's rare that I can find someone I have so much in common with.
You two do not seem very similar.
We both had rather interesting experiences with the Zakarum priestesses in our youth, so... You know, there's nothing in the world quite so perfect as jewels. They have color, size, shape, transparency.
Transparency?
Oh yes, if only I could eat them, I would need nothing else in life. Not that you can't. I hear some people even shape certain crystals atop their food.
Are you Hadrig? Deckard Cain said you could help me find the crown of Leoric.
Not now. It's my wife. She's locked in the cellar like all those who've been bitten. I'm to put them all down. But how can I kill my own wife?
It is a hard burden you bear. I will help.
Thank you. Follow me. I'm sorry.
Do your duty, blacksmith, no matter how hard.
Mira, my love, forgive me.
Hadrig! Help me!
I couldn't have done this without you. I'm in your debt. My name is Hadrig Aemon.
You owe me nothing. but I would welcome your aid in my quest to find the crown of Leoric.
I can help you there. It's buried with his Chancellor, my grandfather. You'll find his tomb in a cemetery in the Weeping Hollow. And if you see my fool apprentice out there, tell him to get back to town.
Not enough rats. That creature must die. Blacksmith's apprentice. Another innocent falls. My wrath is low. Deckard favors me.
grave robbers have defiled my tomb. Now my husband writhes in torment because I do not rest at his side. Return my bones so that we may rest in peace.
Not enough wrath. Enjoyed that. Is not here. My search continues. I require more wrath. crown is close.
No! I will not allow you to bring that monster Leoric back to this world!
I need to go back.
You found the crown. Truth be told, I didn't think you'd make it back alive. Ah, it needs repair. Should be no problem. It's good to work again. There. New as the day it was placed upon the Black King's head. I need something more than making spades to occupy my mind. I want my life to mean something.
Then join my crusade. The work is hard, rewards are few, and you'll likely die.
That does sound meaningful. And awful.
At least you'll travel to interesting places. I have grim news. Your apprentice has fallen.
Ah, the fool boy never listened to me. He was a good lad for all that. I thank you, Crusader.
Tell me about your grandfather. Was he King Leoric's Chancellor?
Not much to tell. I lived with my father in Chaldeum at the time. We heard that my grandfather stayed in Tristram until the end, trying to save lives. Don't know if he succeeded, but there it is. When the Skeleton King fell, my grandfather was dying from a sword wound. He had the crown sealed with him to keep it safe.
He did what he had to. You throw yourself into the work of the Crusade. Is this how you grieve?
I don't follow your crusade.
It isn't your cause, friend. But everyone needs to believe in something.
I believe this armor needs repairing.
Then that is enough. I will leave you to your work.
My dearest Heydrich, do not feel despair, my love. You did everything you could. Our time together meant more than words can say. But in the end, fate is a cruel mistress. Your strength is needed to end the horrors that beset this world. My final wish is that you find your path. Love always. Mira.
I have the crown.
At last. With it, you can unlock the sealed door in the room where you rescued me and enter the royal crypts. When you find the Skeleton King, place the crown atop his head and destroy him.
If it helps me find the fallen star, I'll face him.
I wish that Leia could live a different life, a more normal life. But alas, such is not her fate. When I pass, there is none but her to continue my work, and the future of this world hangs in the balance.
Leah spent all night alongside the blacksmith's wife.
Is there no justice in this world? Leoric bravely withstood Diablo's attempts to possess him, and look what he got in return. Madness and a cursed death.
Corruption takes even the innocent. We must be ever vigilant.
Well, though I never knew him personally, I saw Leoric himself when he was building his manor. A troubled man, with a heavy burden upon his fragile mind. Is it any wonder that he built such a home for himself? What he needed was someone to teach him how to laugh once in a while.
Did you hear? Old Rumford has us down to half rations. How are we supposed to...
Is low.
was Lazarus. Of that I am certain. He alone had the king's ear, and whispered dark and evil magics into it, instilling the notion of an imminent attack by Westmarch. Afraid to speak against the Archbishop, the councillors nodded their empty heads in agreement, and sent us off to die.
Not enough wrath.
Maintain your incantation. You will soon...
Your magic is weakening. I am free! Now, back to my mission.
Who are you?
You will know soon enough. Help me find my gear. I will reward you well. Tell me, what brought you to this infernal place?
I have questions for the Skeleton King.
As do I.
Enjoy this. I require more wrath.
The cultists dragged me past this glowing pit. What made it? Down this way!
He's free! Do not let him rearm!
I am Cormac, warrior of the Templar Order. If it is the Skeleton King you seek, then you will have to fight your way past John Dar. There is no reason we should hunt alone.
Very well.
Black magic bars our way, but the will of a Templar is stronger. You were a Templar, John Dar. How could you succumb to this coven?
The coven is my brotherhood now. The powers we serve will soon rule this world!
Please forgive me. My vision was clouded by the Coven's evil magic.
Betrayal can never be forgiven. Thank you for your aid. I will go with you on your hunt for the Skeleton King. But there is one condition. If we find the sacred tomes of my order, they are mine.
If these tomes are not the key to redeeming the Zakarum faith, then they are indeed yours.
Then onwards we go, to fight the Skeleton King. What shall we fight today?
Is low.
The light grows. May be strong, but I will not stand down.
Keep your distance from him. This burden is mine to bear. May death bring peace from your madness, Leoric.
Traitors! Even in death, the armies of Condorus will still obey their king, even if you will not. You dare to bring the warmth of life into my tomb?
We shall put you down, Hellspawn!
We have just arrived in Tristram, and I must say, I'm a bit dismayed. This place is a backwater filled with serfs and an ancient broken-down monastery, hardly fit for the king of Condorus. I cannot fathom why Lazarus was so intent on this becoming our new seat of power.
Are you ever afraid in battle?
No. I feel fear before the battle and after.
Few could admit that so simply. You will never defeat me!
You were defeated the moment you surrendered to madness.
In the eastern kingdom of Khezistan, I heard rumors of Zakarum warriors called Crusaders. While the natives were most reticent, I was able to deduce that this order was founded 200 years ago, just as Rakis took his army of paladins west. But these Crusaders went east on a very different mission.
The crater, at last. The falling star was a man. Interesting.
I am. I remember falling.
Through several floors, at least.
I am not your enemy. I think. Yes, I believe I have come with a warning. The darkness. The darkness is coming. I don't remember.
Be calm, and come with me. The fallen star was a man. Only a man. I begin to wonder if his fall is related to my crusade. I will take him to the old scholar. He may know.
The news continues to worsen. How can you continue to wade into the fray with nary a thought for your own safety?
I am a Crusader. Cain, meet the falling star.
No man could survive such a thing. Who are you? What are you?
A warrior, I think. I came bearing grave news, but I cannot remember.
Your message might be all that can save us from impending doom. Tell me everything you remember, stranger. Every detail.
Falling. Fire. A sword of great power. It was part of me. But it shattered into 3 pieces as I fell.
It is vital that we find those pieces. I believe the sword made whole will restore your memory.
The goatmen are rampaging through the fields. Could the sword have anything to do with that?
Of course, of course. Just as the dead rose around the stranger, the sword pieces drove the goatmen to madness.
All goatmen are mad. They don't need a sword for that. But I will search their fields.
The Horodrim were powerful mages gathered together by the Archangel Tyrael to defeat the 3 prime evils, Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal. They devoted themselves fully to the destruction of the demon lords and left behind valuable tomes and teachings.
How did you become the last of them?
My ancestor was the leader of the Horodrim, Cain. When the Horodrim died out, their tomes stayed in my family. I was thrilled by tales of the Horodrim as a little boy, but it wasn't until I returned to them as an adult that I realized they contained deeper truths. Tyrael is the angel of justice. He has been helping mankind for generations, though he is forbidden to do so in any direct manner. Long ago, the high heavens and the burning hells made a pact as a result of the Sin War that they would not interfere in our world.
The demons broke this pact, yet Tyrael did nothing.
The Angiris Council, the archangels that lead heaven, almost destroyed our world once to keep the demons from spreading their corruption upon it. If Tyrael were to act directly, it would alert the Council to the demons' activities here and imperil us all.
Do you remember anything besides falling?
Only that there were surges of light and a kind of pain.
So, nothing then.
The emptiness gnaws at me. It is a constant frustration.
You have nothing to believe in. The sword will help.
hardly believe it, but the falling star is a man. When Uncle Deckard realized this, he was crushed. I know he was hoping for something more miraculous.
Do not question the path you are on. It will lead you through things that will try your very soul. But you'll always have me to talk to.
I am glad to hear it.
You pretend you are a rock, but I know the softness you don't want anyone to see. Why else would you continue to come and talk to Miriam?
The attacks may be slowing down, but this town...
Oh, perhaps it was a jewel that fell from the sky. Oh, did you ever consider that?
It was not a jewel, it was a man.
A man? Now that is strange. Where do you suppose he came from? And how did he survive his fall? Did he have any jewels on him?
If there's a sword here, we will find it.
What skill should I master? A worthy choice.
That's not enough wrath. Rewarded.
Understand how evil walks in the day. Should it not fear the light?
Should it? We are good, but we do not fear the darkness.
We are courageous. Surely you don't suggest evil is brave?
Require more wrath.
That was a worthy foe! Glorious!
Please, free my family from their cursed existence. I can hear them digging.
Be on your guard. Spirits lie.
Well, prepare to face my wrath.
Our meddling daughter would do well to leave us be. You will pay for her weakness.
He's folly to disturb us.
can now rest, free from the curse they brought upon themselves.
Some spirits linger to right past wrongs. I was mistaken about her.
The sword piece is near.
We must hurry with the ritual. Magda will be here soon. It's turning.
The sword glows. Perhaps the goatmen truly were driven mad.
Who are you to take what is mine?
I'm a Crusader.
Regardless, I have claimed it. I am Magda, and I lead this coven. The shard is mine.
I disagree.
Very well. Let the games begin. Well fought, but you will never possess the next piece. It has fallen where only the ancients may tread.
She is more devious than she appears.
I am returning to town. Here is a piece of the sword. It was held by a witch and her coven.
Uncle Deckard, they sound like those dark cultists you told me about.
Very good, Leah. You have been paying attention. Stranger, does any of this jar your memory?
I have no memory of this coven, but I sense a far darker shadow guiding its hand.
Magda's coven is a remnant of an ancient religion called the Triune that worshipped the primevals as gods.
Their gods are dead, yet they fight on.
The last two evils, Asmodan and Belial, remain. And if either of them are behind this coven, then our troubles are only beginning.
I sense power in this twisted metal.
Indeed, it feels familiar to me, though the rest is still unclear.
This is the weapon of a man with strong convictions.
Is that what I was? then what am I without my convictions?
Whatever you have forgotten is not lost. It will be restored. Their leader, Magda, said the next piece fell where only ancients may tread.
That makes me think of the drowned temple near the festering woods. I remember you telling me about it, Uncle.
Exactly, Leah. The temple was home to the Nephilim. Leah, your knowledge could be invaluable. You must go and help our friend retrieve the sword piece.
The Nephilim were ancient humans with fantastic powers. Legend holds that they waged a terrible battle near the temple, and that their ghosts still war with one another. What? You're not really thinking of reading my— Uncle Deckard believes the key to unlocking the stranger's memory is reassembling his sword. I wish I could say this was another of Uncle's crazy theories, but I can't deny that these ominous events are starting to really scare me.
I've decided to write an epic poem on the death of the skeleton.
Different. I have great power within me too. The only difference is I have no control over it.
Then you have not yet found your home.
I hope I never do. Power is so great that I don't know. It scares me.
You there! Please help! They're going to kill my friend! Thieves are going to kill my friend if we don't do something! Help me break these bonds and see for yourself!
What do they want with your friend?
She's just a farmer's daughter, Sasha, but she has a relic that the thieves are after.
Where is the relic?
I'll never tell you.
Release the girl. The relic belongs to her.
You actually believe what this scoundrel tells you? Fine, you fools. We'll kill the both of you. You won't get away from us this time! This isn't over, the rest of the Thieves' Guild will find you.
Here's the relic, my love. I hid it like you asked. Father's grown suspicious of us, but that won't matter once we're married. It won't be long, right?
Of course, my dear. Soon we will settle down to a quiet life of tilling the fields and raising children. But first, I have to sell this relic. Alas, I must travel away with my friend here to do so.
You wish to join my crusade? It is a hard path.
Yes, absolutely. The way is hard and all that. Shall we go? Wait. The relic is a fake! Gods, I should have known. You seem like you could use a helping hand, and I sure as hell don't want to stay around here.
Please tell me that you're not considering this criminal's proposal.
Ah, there you are.
What of your betrothed?
Betrothed? Do I look like the marrying kind to you? By the way, my name is Lyndon.
Where are you from?
Kingsport, the city by the sea, home to the great merchant fleets and endless nets of reeking fish.
It sounds delightful. And what was your trade there?
I was, a bit of a private dealer.
So no honest work, then?
Nonsense. I am the most honest thief you will ever meet. Wanted. One relic, scarlet, roughly the size of a man's fist. It was stolen 2 months past during a deplorable theft from the Merchants Guild Bank. Those apprehended were not in possession of the item. The relic is greatly missed by its rightful owner, who offers a reward for its safe return. They will run when they see us.
Tell me about your order. Are you born into it?
No. Our scripture says, as a farmer reaps his wheat, so must the order harvest and purify the weeds.
You were a weed?
A criminal. The order took me in and saved my life. More than that, my very soul.
So you were a criminal before joining the Templar. What were your crimes?
I cannot tell you.
Then I will not pry.
You misunderstand me. We are literally unable to recall our pasts. The Inquisitors stripped my sins and the memory of them from me, leaving me pure. May the battles never end.
What the tomes say of Alaric and this temple is not encouraging. You must be Alaric the Guardian. Uncle Deckard told me of your eternal watch over this cursed place. I thought it was a myth.
Are you Nephilim?
No. There have been no Nephilim for a millennium.
Yet another myth. You seek entrance to this temple, but only a Nephilim can enter. If you retrieve the keys from the outlying tombs and use them on the gates, we will see who and what you truly are. Follow me. I will raise the bridge that you may pass. Seek 2 tombs in the woods beyond. The Warrior's Rest and the Crypt of the Ancients. Within them reside the keys to our sacred temple.
A pall of ancient doom hangs upon these woods.
these Alaric's people?
Repel them, my brothers!
A worthy opponent!
For the wind.
Alaric says that our people can survive the coming battle, but I saw the truth in his eyes. Why did he order me to guard the beacon of honor? Those shambling things are slaughtering my people in the forest above, and there's nothing I can do to stop it.
Sounds peaceful.
Well, if you ever want a job, I will consider your credentials.
I have answered my call, but I thank you.
being a child and searching for lost artifacts with Uncle Deckard.
I've traveled my whole life. Watched the world change.
Yes, it's not like it was.
Have no fear, Leah. We will make this world safe again.
Temple is open. Enter and defeat the guardians within. Although they are my brothers, they will seek your death when you enter.
I cannot fault them for doing their duty.
Remove the thing that fell into our temple. Every moment it remains, my people grow more restless.
Look at this architecture. This predates the Sin War.
None may enter the inner sanctum. Rise, my brothers! Rise and do battle!
Has been changed. Our children are born weak and suffer short lives. The demon Nereza promised to restore their power, but instead turned them into misshapen creatures and sent them to war against us. We may die, but not before she is sent back to the burning hells.
I miss Chaldeum.
It smelled of brothels and ale.
Even so, it was full of trade and new ideas. There was always something exciting to see.
Your strength rivals that of our greatest champions. What now do you think you are? You may enter our most sacred place.
The spirit speaks the truth. This was a good place. I can feel it.
The noble hero fought her way here just to die.
I admire your persistence.
And who is this you bring with you? Adria's daughter? She has power within her. No matter. Your mother will soon share your fate, little one. The shard is mine. Fill this temple with their blood!
What did she mean, my mother will share my fate? Could my mother be alive after all these years?
Time will tell.
And what is the power within you that she spoke of?
This fight was too easy. She's toying with us. We must get back to Uncle Deckard right away.
I need to go back. You spend quite a lot of time chasing women.
We only have so many days in this world, and I choose to spend mine in worthy pursuits.
I'm not sure you think very much of the women you pursue.
I've only found one worth keeping, but she slipped away from me.
What did you do wrong?
I'd rather talk about the ones I caught and didn't want. Let us seek our fortunes together.
Let us seek honor together, my friend.
You spoke of Chaldean. You lived there with your father?
Yes, he was a diplomat. We had a manor with servants, terraces, all of that. Everything changed when the Troubles started. Somehow, rumors spread that my grandfather was responsible for the king's madness. My father's work fell apart. No one would speak to him. He kept believing it would blow over, though.
That is not the way of the world.
No. I'd rather not talk about it now, if you don't mind. I've work to see to.
Oh, there she goes again. We're on the
I was thinking.
Don't hurt yourself.
I was thinking.
The World Stone was an ancient artifact of immense power. It was used not only to create our world, but also to control mankind. The original humans were known as the Nephilim, and their power was such that it was feared they would tip the balance in the eternal conflict between the high heavens and the burning hells. So the World Stone was tuned to lessen our powers, turning mankind into what we are today. But now that it has been destroyed, it is conceivable that the powers of the Nephilim will reappear. Tyrael was forced to destroy the World Stone when Baal, the Lord of Destruction, corrupted it in his attempt to control all of mankind.
Unfortunate.
It obliterated Mount Arreat, the mountain that housed it, leaving only a smoking crater in its place. And nothing has been heard from Tyrael since.
You raised Leah during your travels, but the road is a dangerous place for a child.
Not as dangerous as you might think. There was a calm about the world then. Most people paid no mind to an old man and young girl, weaponless and penniless, crossing their lands.
Uncle Deckard and I traveled all over the world in my youth, looking for lost lore and artifacts. It was so exciting, crawling around ancient temples, digging through forgotten crypts. I feel fortunate that Uncle Deckard raised me the way he did, the things I learned from him. But now, I don't know. I see what his obsession with his quest has cost him, has cost us. The Drowned Temple was once known as the Sarsium Emporis. It was the most sacred of their temples, a site where legend claims angels would come to impart their wisdom to the Nephilim.
Here, the second piece of the sword. Magda now seeks the third.
I remember a glow streaking towards a fishing village.
The only fishing village near here is Wortham.
You're right, Leah. It must be Wortham. There is a ferry on the edge of Tristram that will take you there.
Tell me of this coven.
I have no memory of them, except a feeling, a darkness that is known to me.
Known to you?
The coven may be part of a greater evil. Perhaps I intended to fight it.
You'll need your sword.
When we retrieved the stranger's second sword piece, Magda found us. She's always on our heels. Who is she? She claims to know my mother, but how could that be? Regardless, we must beat her to Wortham in the final piece of the sword.
I really do miss that bard. The way he sang Bartok and Horizon could make a bad man weep and turn his life around. I have some new items that I'm certain you will love.
Vile things transpire even as we speak. I see a town in flames, and an old friend paying the ultimate price to reveal the truth.
I already know this.
Oh, do you have the sight as well?
No, never mind.
I can see the fires even from here. Wortham burns. It is only the truly evil who force the innocents to suffer for a battle they have no part in.
Wortham, please.
I will take you, but beware. Smoke rises from the village.
They're destroying the town! Get out while you can! By all that is holy, the town is burning!
One of the men retrieved a strange artifact in his nets. It looked like a hilt of an ancient blade, but I know it must be more. The fisherman argued with me, but I convinced him to leave it in the safety of the chapel, a holy place for a holy relic.
Please! My family's hiding in the chapel with the rest of the townsfolk. We must get to them!
Don't run off! You'll get yourself killed!
Fools! You cannot keep the sword from me!
This is bad.
My servants will burn this town to ashes!
There's something coming.
These enemies defy all reason! Could we find more like that?
You saved us. We owe you our lives.
I seek the hilt of a sword. It fell from the sky. Have you seen it?
We found it days ago. I wish we'd never brought it here. Come, I left Virgil to guard it. We will be glad to be rid of it.
I'm going back to Tristram to check on Uncle Deckard.
It's gone.
While you were on your hero's errand here, I captured all 3 sword pieces and your friends.
I should have known. I must get back to Cain's house.
It's your choice, Cain. Either use your Herodric arts to repair the sword, or your dear Leah dies a horrible death.
All this pain, this destruction. What is the sword to you?
To me, nothing. To my master, Belial, everything.
Uncle!
Your rage is overwhelming, girl. You win this round, but if the sword cannot be mine, I'll claim the one it's bound to. In the end, the blade shall be mine.
Uncle, you can't die.
Nothing can stop that now. But there is one last thing I must do. The sword must be made whole. Just as I suspected, the sword is of the high heavens. The stranger is an angel. Heed the journal. The truth lies within.
Uncle Deckard!
How did you learn to fight?
My brother taught me when we were younger. He thought the crossbow was the best weapon for me since it would give me time to run away if I botched things too badly.
So he was confident in your abilities then?
He worried about me, that's all. I suppose you don't know about the bonds of family.
And where is this brother who is bonded to you so?
Oh, he's still in Kingsport. I expect he'll be there a good long time. Oh, I've been waiting for this.
Tell me, what does your order gain by taking your memory from you?
Our initiation blinds us to our sinful pasts, so that we might clearly see the future and prepare for the final battle.
They must accomplish this with powerful magic.
I was chained to a wall and beaten. By the 3rd day, I was mad from pain and hunger. And that is when the whipping began. I was told I relived all of my transgressions, everything that brought me tainted joy. The whip took away that joy, and the sin, leaving me pure.
Friend, it sounds as if they left you empty, not pure.
Don't you understand? The Templar Order is trying to protect humanity from extinction. What is my pain against that goal? It is good to fight with you again.
If only I could control this power, I could have saved him.
I'm sorry, Leah. It is hard to see someone so close fall. I will go after Magda.
Magda and her master Belial. The journal speaks of an angel falling from the heavens as the shadow rises from the abyss. The stranger is the key to all of this.
We must bring him the sword, so that he can fight at our side.
When my power erupted, I saw into Magda's mind for an instant. She's fled to the highlands. You can reach them through the caves above Wortham. You have to know, she'll be waiting for you.
She won't have to wait long.
This damned power I have. Uncle Deckard said it came from my mother. He tried to teach me how to control it using his Herodric training, but it never really helped. He never gave up on me, though. He was a great man. Uncle Deckard is gone forever. I remember the wonderful times we had together. Always off on another crazy quest. What will I do without him? He believed the stranger was an angel, but he is only a man. I always knew they were just stories. Uncle Deckard died for those stories.
You know what I'll miss about old Cain? How he'd Poor Leah. She's done so much for us. And
Cain was a good man, who saw beyond what his eyes showed him. This world is made poorer by his loss.
Magda and her coven will pay dearly for what they have done.
I am not usually one for vengeance, but in this instance, I hope you make her suffer.
Sir. It's a cruel world that would take Deckard Cain away from us. His was never an easy life, and he gave much for us all.
I will make the coven pay for Cain's death.
We all pay. Just look at the face of Leah, the poor girl. What price could the coven pay that could be greater than that?
This is a matter of honor now. We must not hesitate.
Hello, Wanderer. I sell quality potions and dyes at a fair price. Have a look if you like. Oh, and would you do me a favor? There's a lunatic down by the caves who wants a potion to make his blood sweet, if you can believe it. Would you mind bringing it down to him?
A potion for you.
This is perfect. My mistress will now accept me. Her blood and mine will soon sing as one. My queen sings to me. Her music echoes from beyond.
The air hangs heavy with the scent of terror. This does not bode well.
Disturb the eggs. Be one of them, ordinary, untouched, until her voice came to me. Then I knew how I must serve. I must kill the one who threatens my mistress and the dark power that created her. I have been chosen.
Shout before the wind.
Evil lurks in many places. Demons, beasts, even the hearts of men. Useful skill.
My mistress has accepted me. Come close and feel her loving embrace.
You must rest easy, madman. You've served your mistress.
Please, help me.
It's horrible. She sucks the innards from her victims. Oh, no. No, it's too late. I hear her. The Spider Queen is coming.
Spider Queen?
Thank you. Thank you. Can we please leave this horrible place? It was terrible being stuck in there like that. Thank the gods you came along. What are you doing out here?
I seek a man taken by the Coven.
The Coven? I saw them dragging someone into Leoric's manor house. Perhaps it was the man you seek. You might have a small bit of trouble reaching there, though. I'm not proud of this, but I stole the stuff of a powerful Khazra shaman. The Khazra went mad and chased me to the caves. You can find the stuff in my cart in the highlands. If you take it to the Khazra barricade, perhaps they will let you pass.
These lands once belonged to the Crown.
Some heroes are fighting. Oh, and
If there's treasure to be had, then I'm in.
is on.
That was all of them. Should have run when they had the chance.
Though New Tristram and the fields surrounding it have been resettled over the years, the highlands remain empty save for the crumbling ruins of Leoric's old outposts. The king built more than one watchtower in his paranoia, but now they cannot even ward away goatmen and wild beasts. A tragedy, really.
The local Khazra tribes have become a serious threat. They attack caravans and are moving into areas where they haven't been seen before. We need you to take care of this problem for us. We'll pay 25 gold pieces for every Khazra head you bring back.
Let none...
Patience.
Pallid malaise has fallen over the manor we now call home. Young Albrecht seems to be enjoying himself in our new home, however. Perhaps I am simply suffering from an imbalance of humors brought on by the recent change of climate.
She's unstoppable! No mortal could slaughter our brethren with such ease!
Then die well. Lord Belial will reward your sacrifice.
She is here!
More cult. Delay her while I prepare her demise in the depths below. See you again,
They did horrible things to us.
Did you see a man in rags?
Yes, the man with the golden eyes. I saw Magda take him into Leoric's old torture chambers below us.
You have done your duty, friend. I will deal with Magda.
I have some new items that I'm certain you'll love.
A monster of insatiable appetite stands between you and your goal. It is an unnatural thing, raised from the depths by sorcerous means. You will survive it, of course, but I recommend keeping your mouth tightly shut.
Will I say something I shouldn't?
Oh, no. I mean, there will be a lot of demon blood flying around. I hear it tastes like rotten meat.
A strange man. I know a thing or two about a man with secrets.
Like yourself?
Me? Oh no. I'm a simple man. Give me a good meal, a warm bed, and a handful of jewels. But you, I think, are different, huh? Complicated.
Evil wears no disguises here.
Studies indicate that a high-level cleric of the Zakarum named Cain began to sense the corruption that was eating away at the heart of his faith. He knew this corruption would eventually destroy his beloved church, and that he must take action. After much prayer, Cain hit upon the idea of an order of Crusaders.
The look of that. I heard tales about the fall of King Leoric when I was young, but seeing it with my own eyes, it is another thing entirely.
convinced that some malevolent being is attempting to wrest control of my thoughts away from me. Voices direct me to horrendous acts, and there are times when I seem unable to control my body. Lazarus knows. This is certain. He looks at me strangely when he thinks me otherwise disposed.
I'm trapped! In here! In the Iron Maiden!
Lunarsad 1263 Arno Kyrgyzstani. The jailers burned runes into my flesh. They say all the torture and dark magic will turn us into demonic slaves for King Leoric. What foolish lies. 17th day of Lunarsad. Oh, pain is terrible. I can't think. I'm so hungry. 20th day of Lunarsad. Master, I hunger. Master, feed me.
God bless you. I was certain I was gonna die in there. I heard rumors of vast treasure to be found down here. A damn fool that I am, I believed them. Don't know why I thought it might be inside an Iron Maiden. All I could think of while I was trapped in that horrible darkness was that no one would ever know what had happened to me.
Starved of the sun, I no longer know what day it is. I can hear the warden, my husband, and that dog Lazarus discussing my fate. My life will be over soon, yet I fear more for my poor Albrecht's future in the wake of his father's madness. If only Aiden were here. I am Asilla, once queen to our beloved Leoric. My servants and I were consumed by his madness. Now I give you my blessing, champion, to release my people from their eternal torment.
Thank the gods. What? Who dares? Thank the gods.
My guards! There is someone amongst us. Deal with her harshly.
I am free.
Deserved death.
Fit to release.
Thank you, champion. My servants are now free, but the curse over this place remains.
Must I do this myself? So be it. Face it, and repent your crimes.
my lord. The prisoner is ready, as you requested.
Thank you, Lazarus. Your loyalty is invaluable in the midst of all these traitors. And you, my dear, my own wife and queen, conspiring against our kingdom.
My love, I swear, I have never betrayed you.
Lies. Until the very end.
A grim end to a noble woman. I am proud to have played my part in Leoric's fall.
The time of my lord's true awakening is at hand. That fool Leoric was only able to resist him because he did not yet possess his full power. With the Queen dispatched as a traitor, I may now devote myself fully to preparing the boy for the presence of my master.
Not ready yet.
Back in Tristram, crying over the old man's corpse. She'll soon have another one to cry over. Yours. Meet the butcher.
Fresh meat.
contend with evil is the essence of what it means to be a Templar.
You are welcome, friend. Angel, take up your sword.
My sword. I remember now. I was an archangel of the high heavens. I was the embodiment of justice. I am Tyrael. You have restored my mind, friend. And now, I remember the warning I came to deliver. Belial and Asmodan, the last lords of hell, are unleashing a tide of darkness that will drown this world. Already, Belial's shadow has fallen upon Caldeum.
Then I will go to Caldeum and introduce myself to Belial.
We must move quickly. Let us return to Tristram and make ready.
I can tell by the look in your eye that you're not going to leave it alone. You want to hear what happened to my father?
I do.
Right, well, my father tried to dispel the rumors about my grandfather. No one would listen. Then one night, a week later, crazed refugees from Tristram came for revenge. I remember my father screaming for us to get out, and nasty laughter. A lot of it. Just before justice shoved me out the window, I saw my father crawling up the stairs at me, with 2 daggers in his back and a 3rd whipping round his throat.
He saved you, Hadrig.
Doesn't mean much to a child, does it? His father's still dead on a stairwell.
How did you become a thief?
That's a long and terrible story that you wouldn't want to hear.
You found something you liked and couldn't afford.
Basically.
That's reasonable in an odd way.
Oh, there was nothing reasonable about her. Do you ever doubt your choices?
A bad choice is better than none, so no.
Things never seem to turn out like I hope they will.
Hope? Well, that was your first mistake.
Try living in the slums before you lecture me.
Be at peace, friend. It was a joke.
Aha! I knew you'd need my help!
So you believe in a cause, but have no memory of what brought you to it?
You have the right of it, my friend.
Belief without choice is not real, Cormac. The Crusaders quested for 200 years, knowing that we might be chasing a dream. We made a choice to believe, and that is what keeps us constant.
I've had similar thoughts, but does that mean everything I've done is for naught? Everything.
Lead the way to glory.
I have some new items that I'm certain you will love.
There she goes.
We have more new volunteers than we can deal with.
Where do we go next? To the Great Desert?
We go to Chaldeum.
Chaldeum? Yes, the great jewel of the East.
It is not an actual jewel.
I knew that.
Time grows short, my friends. Even now, Belial's influence is spreading through Chaldeum.
But how will we find him?
We won't have to. Magda and her coven will lead us straight to him.
I'm not going anywhere until Uncle Deckard's been laid to rest.
The crusade goes on, but we must honor our dead.
I have called for a caravan to guide us to the east. Speak to the caravan master when you are ready to go. We will see to Cain as we depart.
Who are Belial and Asmodan?
Belial is the Lord of Lies. He desires power before all other things, and his thousand schemes are designed toward this end. His brother, Asmodan, reigns over the other half of Hell as the Lord of Sin. I sense his influence in this world, but I do not yet know where he will strike.
Belial may lead us to him.
They are more rivals than allies in these days, but I pray that you are right.
They will run when they see us.
A fond farewell to our saviors. I hear the town's saved. We can go outside again.
My friend, shall we depart to Chaldeum?
It was all just stories. My uncle saw what he wanted to see.
Deckard sacrificed much to protect this world. But his work is not over.
What would you know about sacrifice?
Tyrael, the ancient law of the high heavens strictly forbids us from interfering with the mortal world. Yet you have done so, brazenly. All I am guilty of, Imperius, is bringing justice, while you hide, cowering behind your throne. Silence! You will now answer for your transgressions. cannot judge me. I am justice itself. We were meant for more than this. To protect the innocent. But if our precious laws bind you all to inaction, then I will no longer stand as your brother.
You chose to be one of us.
Sacrilege.
Thus, I fell, willingly. Because humanity is the only hope for this world.
I never believed all your crazy tales. The work you never finished. I will finish it, Uncle. I will carry on for you.